Look at this line of trucks waiting to get into Ukraine. And we're about an hour away from the border right now at top speed. Holy crap. Anyway, welcome to part 4 of the great European Christmas road trip. It will be spent in Ukraine. We are heading to the border now, crossing to Uzhhorod from Slovakia, and we'll spend maybe 5 or 6 days there. An hour later, nothing but trucks still. I don't know how many days it must take them to cross into Ukraine. This is nuts. We're sitting at the border waiting to get punched out of Slovakia. You're not allowed to have your car running here, so it gets cold pretty fast and, you know, -2 Celsius weather. But I'm excited. I'm supposed to get a custom stamp on my new iPhone that I bought in Vienna. It gives me back 300 euros. I get my tax back. That's why my videos are still shit. I haven't been using my shiny new iPhone because you're not supposed to use it until you exit the EU area. So video quality, it'll improve shortly. I hope. 2 hours later, still at the border. We've passed through the Slovakian end. We got the custom stamp. Now waiting on the Ukrainians. Welcome to Ukraine. It only took 2.5 hours at the border with only 3 cars in front of us. Not very efficient. So we're gonna stay in the Zakarpattia Oblast this time around. We're not going up to Lviv, we're not going to Kiev. We're gonna stay in the one oblast that has never experienced a curfew related to the Russian invasion. Crossing the Uzh River. That's where the town Uzhhorod gets its name. Uzh. Our parking space for the next 3 days is by the heavily guarded Ruthenian Greek Catholic Cathedral, Church of the Holy Cross, originally built in 1646. During the Soviet period, this church was transferred to the Russian Orthodox Church, but then after 1991, went back to the Greeks. Let's see what $20 a night can get you in Uzhhorod. Yeah, the girl said the living room is kind of set up for a refugee situation. You know, a lot of Ukrainians are coming and came to Transcarpathia. That's the oblast that hasn't really been affected by the war. There's very few power outages, no attacks, no curfews. There's a rumor, the reason it's oblast, Transcarpathia, Zakarpattia, hasn't been touched by the war, was thanks to a secret deal between Orban and Putin. It's like 10% of this area is Hungarian, ethnically. So the theory is that Orban didn't want the Hungarians involved, and furthermore, Hungary continues to buy product from Russia. In exchange, leave Zakarpattia alone.
Більше не буде війни.
Yes?
Так.
I know we're in the middle of war.
Я знаю, що ми зараз посеред війни.
People die
Люди вмирають.
daily.
Кожного дня.
And you might think I'm here in a safe
І
place.
ви можете думати, так, я зараз в безпечному
You might
місці.
think I'm young and healthy. I
Можете
shouldn't think
думати,
about this.
я здоровий, молодий, мені не треба навіть про це
But you don't
роздумувати.
know the day you die.
Але ви не знаєте, коли помрете.
My first meal here this time around, deer goulash with gnocchi. And Bianca got the Transcarpathian classic potato pancakes with mushrooms. I also got vareniki. It's like a Ukrainian pierogi. Okay, there's a craft beer bar here we'll try. All local beers brewed here in Zakarpattia. Everything seems to close around 11 here, but the bartender said there's one late night bar, Belfast 2.0. This place closes at 3 in the morning. It's got some potential. It's a beautiful hangover Sunday. It's 2:30 and just got out of the house. It'll be a short one. Our waiter speaks Romanian. He was born in a Romanian village here in Ukraine.
Buon appetito.
Mulțumesc. And what is it called?
Asta ce?
Carne loci. Loci Vasya.
Bianca's is sarmale with Carpathian mushrooms. Another theory as to why Putin hasn't touched this oblast is Zakarpattia, Transcarpathians. It's in the mountains, the Carpathian Mountains, and there's just no real strategic value. And or maybe it's just too difficult to deal with. I'm in the walls of Uzhhorod Castle. It was built in a mixture of architectural styles and materials from the 1200s to the 1700s, and figured heavily in the history of Hungary. Hungary called it Ungvar, which was var, castle, or fortification, and Ung is the river Uzh. Later on, it was translated to Uzhhorod, castle on the river Uzh. And of course, the castle lent its name to the city we know and love today. Let's see the dungeon. This seems like a fun place. A place for some light torture. In the 1700s, Uzhhorod Castle was handed over to the Ruthenian Greek Catholic Church, and they churched it up. And they built a school here. So normally when I reach a town and discover there's no Christmas market, I kind of stop making a video about the town, but I'm gonna make an exception in Ukraine. They've put a pause to most celebrations out of respect for the war, but there are still some Christmas trees. And I guess that's it, sundown. I'll try to do better tomorrow. Uzhhorod is famous for its desserts, and it's a rare city in Ukraine. It has its own cake, Uzhhorod, a real competitor to the cake Kiev. Baby pinecone jam, varenya. Don't leave Ukraine without it. Never leave Ukraine without this. So this is gingerbread that I think it kills Russians. It's a big day today. It's a new kind of quality day. Hello, iPhone 15 Pro Max. From now on, the videos and photos will be courtesy of my new phone from Austria. And thank you, iPhone 8, for serving me well for the last 6-7 years. For our last night in Uzhhorod tonight, I bought tickets to a Christmas jazz concert, and let me show you the exterior of the concert hall we're going to. Ever since World War II, this synagogue that was completed in 1904 in Neo-Moorish style has served as Uzhhorod's concert hall. And outside this concert hall is a Holocaust monument erected in 2016. The footprint is in the shape of the Star of David. Here, take a look at this miniature bronze sculpture. Some time ago, Uzhhorod-born sculptor Mihailo Kolodko began installing these bronze miniatures throughout the city without city approval. And there's got to be like 100 of them. I think Uzhhorod is the miniature sculpture capital of the world. So, as I see any, I'll show them to you. Now you know what that is. So now we'll cross over the Uzh River for some breakfast. And all these miniatures scattered throughout the city symbolize something related to the region of Transcarpathia. Finger for scale. You can see how small these guys are. Roshan. It's a Ukrainian confectionery manufacturing company. You see it all throughout Ukraine. Roshan chocolates, candies everywhere. It's owned by former Ukrainian president Petro Poroshenko. He was president from 2014 to 2019. The name Roshan comes from Poroshenko, Petro Poroshenko. Well, here's some nice Soviet construction. This is the Transcarpathian Regional State Ukrainian Music and Drama Theater. It was inaugurated in 1946, just after the war. Let's check out the other side of this theater. I must say I'm a bit disappointed by the lack of Soviet mosaics. Usually they all have them. It may have been whitewashed in the past. Ukraine is implementing its decommunization law. So all symbols of its Soviet past are being wiped out. It's getting harder and harder to find them. For breakfast, ordered a symboliki. It's a Ukrainian sweet cheese pancake. Great for breakfast. Just like yesterday, a race against time. I only gave myself 2 hours of sunlight today. Again, a late morning. Apologies. Just came across some Soviet artwork. Let's see how the iPhone 15 shines here. Low light conditions, it's kind of far away. This is a 5 times zoom here. Not bad. And more. Check out this Soviet mosaic. I really stumbled into the right area here, didn't I? And still more. Well, I guess now I have to walk around the whole building. So there's no additional Soviet artwork on this building. Got a Lada there. And a Volga. Another miniature. Harry Houdini. His grandmother was born in this area. near Uzhhorod. Houdini himself was born in Hungary. Remember, there's a lot of Hungarians here. Uzhhorod used to belong to the Kingdom of Hungary. After World War I, it was given to Czechoslovakia. Before World War II, back to Hungary. Then the Germans rolled in. The Soviets rolled in, and they didn't give it back. It became annexed, part of Ukrainian SSR in the Soviet Union. And then, of course, Ukrainian independence in 1991. This sign refers to the siege of Mariupol early on in the Russian invasion, when the Azov battalion were trapped in the Azovstal iron and steel works plant. I don't believe they made it out, or they didn't survive in the end. Just looked it up. There were a number of surrenders by the Azov battalion, but then the prison they were being kept in blew up, and a lot of them died. Ultimately, 215 were exchanged in a prisoner swap. The caveat that the commanders, I think 4 or 5 commanders, have to stay in Turkey until the war is over. Well, the sun has officially set. So this isn't City Hall, this is more like a county hall. The hall for the Oblast of Zakarpattia, Transcarpathia. Statue of Taras Shevchenko. He was a Ukrainian poet, an artist, a writer, folklorist, politician. It's my second time in this city, and the last time I was here, it was also the season, and there was a Christmas tree outside of the Oblast Hall. Not this time. I love Uzhhorod, just outside of the city hall. Along the bank of the Uzh River are 2.2 kilometers of linden trees. They call it Linden Alley, and it is the longest such in all of Europe. There's the music and drama building again. Looks nicer at nighttime, lit up, and from across the river. If only I had time for a shave and a haircut. Maybe a pre-Christmas concert snack. Now for some Christmas jazz inside the former synagogue. A map of the Transcarpathian Oblast. You see, we are up here in Uzhhorod, and tomorrow we are driving to Mukachevo. So today we leave Uzhhorod, just packed the car. This is the Bishop's Palace, by the way. So we are driving out of the city of Uzhhorod, but we're gonna stay in the rayon, the county, for a little bit. Next stop's gonna be a castle. But while we're driving, I will show you some photos of my last visit to Uzhhorod. You can see the wooden church here. That's one of the must-sees. Let me give you some fun facts about Uzhhorod. It's the most inland city in the area. It's equidistant from the Adriatic Sea, the Baltic Sea, and the Black Sea. What else can I tell you? Population, around 120,000. By the way, look at my face. You see how it is artificial? You know what I mean? The color?
Because you have to time it, you have to press on you.
Doesn't do it. Yeah, the iPhone 15 definitely brings out the orange or something artificial in skin color. Wow, look how red my nose is even. There's the castle. This castle, Novitska Castle, was first mentioned in 1274 as belonging to the King of Hungary, Laszlo IV, as a dungeon or a keep. This castle was destroyed in 1644 by the Prince of Transylvania, George II, Rákóczi family. And it's been destroyed ever since. They did do some restoration in 2021. They built these shiny new roofs you see here. Because we only slept about 4 hours last night, we will not be climbing to the top. That's the River Uzh down there. Our ultimate destination for today is Mukachevo, and it's only about 40 minutes drive from Uzhhorod, but we're doing a 2-hour roundabout drive. And our next stop is the town of Perichin, because this lady at a craft shop recommended it. Just stopped the car to show you this old Soviet border monument for Perichin Rayon. Now that rayon doesn't exist anymore because Perichin belongs to Uzhhorod. And another quick stop, another Soviet border monument, this one for the city of Perichin. So Oblast is kind of like a province, like Zakarpattia. Rayon is like a county. We're in Uzhhorod Rayon, and now entering the city of Perichin. Looks like an old World War II monument, Soviet era. That would be the House of Culture. Just passed this giant monument to a horseshoe and thought, let's have some coffee here. It smelled too meaty in there. So, I'm gonna try a dedicated coffee shop in Perichin. Okay, so how much of you is Ukrainian?
31.3.
31.3.
Yeah, this is the proof.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
Looks like a work of the Soviets to me. I think it's a hospital. This building used to be a synagogue. It's a funny story. It's a 2003 monument to Fedor Feketa. He's a guy who was waiting for a letter from his parents. Never came. He decided it would be faster to walk 30 kilometers, something like that, to his parents' house, rather than wait for the mail. And then he started doing that every week and collecting everyone's mail and was dropping them off at all of the villages along the way. And there he stands for all eternity. Bianca's feeling lazy. We were going to stop at a few more castles, some monasteries on the way to Mukachevo, you know, the long roundabout way. But instead, we're going to go back through Uzhhorod and straight to Mukachevo. You happy?
I'm not feeling lazy. It was his decision. I am too tired, but it's his decision.
In the old days, I would have had to get out of my car to show this to you. It's another Soviet-era border monument. We are leaving Uzhhorod Rayon and entering Mukachevo Rayon and looking back. So you can see this monument says Uzhhorod Rayon. A point of pride for the Soviets was how well decorated their bus stops were. Anything for the people. That's a 5 times view of the must-see Palanok Castle in Mukachevo. I've been there before. May go again. So, this is Mukachevo. Population around 86,000 people. All right, we're doing a drive-by of St. Nicholas Monastery. It was founded in the 11th century, and during Soviet times, it was converted to a convent. Some 70 nuns live there now. Just checked into our hotel. We got about a half an hour before the sun goes down, so we are going to try to see that castle real quick. Google Translate tells me this sign says, "Dear museum visitors, due to martial law, transportation to the castle is forbidden." And I'm a little too lazy to walk up. Bianca wants to see the castle, so congratulations. So they think the castle as we see it here began its construction sometime around the 900s AD. This castle played a strategic role in many wars. Its latest history, it was barracks for the Hungarian Royal Army, and then once the Soviets rolled in, it became barracks for the Red Army. Day 19 of Christmas Rage. Christmas Rage!
Christmas rage.
So Bianca, this dance that you do sometimes, is that a Romanian dance?
No, I'm trying to imitate the inflatable man.
Wow, good job. And what sort of castle wouldn't have a torture chamber? No castle. No castle at all. Probably a nice view out there, but the view is closed due to the war. This castle is home to a two-faced sheep. I think that's as good of a view as we're gonna get. There's a nice view this way. Okay, now for food, now for drink, and one last oversaturated sunset view of Palanok Castle. Yeah, I'm not impressed with the iPhone 15 so far. The photos come out automatically sharpened, over-sharpened, oversaturated, color corrected, but the wrong color, white balance, incorrect, and you have no control over that. Everything is automatic. HDR always on. It's a pretty shitty phone. The iPhone 8 took better pictures, and there's no question about that. Yeah, the zoom lens, that's nice, but what's the point if the resulting picture is just an oversaturated garbage? I wish you could smell this. It smells very good here. Barbecuing meat. Poriadny Gazda, that's the name of this restaurant. This place is brewing its own beers.
This is good.
And they make their own cheese. I guess they're making their own everything. Got some vereniki, you know, the Ukrainian pierogi. Munkac. That's how you'd say Mukachevo if you were Hungarian. Veal cheeks in truffled mashed potatoes. Yep, it's time to give back to Bianca. Supermarket. A Lviv Christmas beer.
And then I got a bunch of chocolates, like a lot. I even got milk chocolate.
Soviet-style condensed milk.
It's the best. The best.
This bottle of vodka is $3.70. It's 1 o'clock, just got out of the house. Another late start. So we got about 3 hours before the sun goes down. We'll just walk about the city center of Mukachevo. Who's been making pencils since 1790? These guys. Mukachevo used to be a majority Jewish city. There were over 30 synagogues here, and this is one of the former synagogues. It was 1944, the city was declared Judenrein, free of Jews. All right, let's check out one of these Poroshenko Roshan candy stores. Now you know how to write Harry Potter in Ukrainian Cyrillic. This is Mukachevo's City Hall, considered to be one of the most beautiful city halls in all of Europe. It was constructed from 1901 by an architect from Budapest, Art Nouveau style.
I see the moon.
Last time I was in town, I think back in 2015, I stayed at this hotel here. A memorial to the local fallen in the conflict with Russia. You can see the flowers at the base of their pictures. Another Jewish building. So Kolodko, that Uzhhorod-born artist, the miniature master, I guess he put up some stuff here in Mukachevo as well. Looks like it's gonna be Georgian food for breakfast. Khachapuri, stirred up beloga. Yeah, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't expect Ukraine to be too Christmassy around this time of year, December 20th, because Christmas in Ukraine was normally January 7th. But it was just July of this year, 2023, that Parliament passed a law. They removed Christmas from the holiday, January 7th, and added December 25th as a holiday. Obviously a snub to the Russian Orthodox Church, with whom the Ukrainian Orthodox Church was closely tied. So it's a new Christmas this year, which is in 4 days, but no markets, again, due to the war. Monument to St. Martin. He's the patron saint of Mukachevo. This is the Mukachevo Cathedral, consecrated in 1905. During Soviet times, it was taken from the Catholic Church, but returned in 2002, after the fall of the Soviet Union. So you like the cow? Is that why you're laughing? You like the cow? It's locked. This is an adjoining chapel dedicated to St. Joseph, dating back to the 1300s. That was great. You see the lady collecting receipts. You know, if God ever says, you didn't show up to St. Joseph, you never prayed, she set up her cell phone on a tripod and then knelt at the altar, recording herself. You can't be too careful these days. Searching for a barber. In 2 days, I'll be in Romania. Can't sit at the family dinner table like this. Nope, man ritual isn't available for me until 5:30. Didn't book it, because I don't know where I'll be at 5:30. It's the reason I don't like flying. It's the reason I don't make restaurant reservations. No commitments. Gotta find a barber who will take me now. Someone at this barber shop likes Quentin Tarantino a lot. It isn't the first time I've shown you, and it won't be the last, but now you know, again, what a Ukrainian haircut looks like. It's about $8. And look, St. Martin is open, so let's take a peek inside. A selection of Transcarpathian tinctures. And I got more salo here, pork fat, and hutsul borscht. Obviously Veroneki again. You know, our days are numbered here. Veroneki, must have, every day. Banosh with sheep cheese. It's kind of like mamaliga, but they seem to get offended when I say that. But it looks mazy, doesn't it?
It's mazy.
It is mazy.
It's definitely not.
Yeah, no, it's not mamaliga, but it's more fine. It's like it almost looks like a pudding. Zakarpatська cake, Transcarpathian cake. And now we're gonna go to the best supermarket in the world. Last time I was here, the town Christmas tree was lit in blue. So it's a sexy Japanese anime-themed Ukrainian supermarket. Some things just click.
More.
There's more?
More to it. You'll see in a second. Wait.
It's my first time. Ukrainian-Russian war beer. Check out this bottle of vodka. Russian warship, go fuck yourself. From Snake Island days. Look at this dog. I presume it's a Ukrainian dog. He's eating a man wearing a jacket that says Z on it. It's a Russian man. Ukrainian dog eating a Russian man. I don't know. It's kind of a funny haircut. I mean, the haircut's not bad, but on me, I think it looks a little funny. So that's it for Mukachevo. Today we're driving about 2 hours and 20 minutes. We'll end up in a town right up against the Romanian border called Tiaciu. But before we get there, we're going to stop at a couple sites along the way. And the one that Bianca's most excited about, and this is in honor of Christmas, a reindeer farm. A quick stop in Kamyanska to admire this World War II monument to the Soviets. This plaque says this monument was erected in honor of the 30th anniversary of the victory of the Soviet people, 1941, 1945. We're passing by some Soviet artwork. Look at that. At this rate, it's going to take me 3 hours to get to Tiaciu. Just stopped again. Another monument, World War II monument to the Soviets. And whatever used to be here, no longer. We just entered Hust Rayon. I think we're going to stop for some breakfast somewhere in Hust. And I spent a night here a few years ago. I remember there was an active synagogue that I couldn't get into, and also a walled church, a Reformed church. So we're going to try again. It's a Soviet gate to the school. The pedestrian part of Hust. Still Soviet elements around here. Look at this old artwork up here. And here's breakfast. Selena. Yeah, I got syrniki again. It's one of my favorite breakfasts. Just around the corner from my syrniki is another monument to the Great Patriotic War. Now, when I was last here, there was a red star at the top. And under the decommunization law, Ukraine has replaced the star of the Red Army with a cross. But the stars still exist on each plaque here. So I want to see more Soviet monuments. I want to see the Reformed church, the wall. The church was built in, I think, the 1200s. Bianca, like every second, the reindeer. What about the reindeer? Hus has a castle. We're not going to see it. Requires a little bit of a hike. But King Matthias Corvinus, who was born in Cluj-Napoca, now Romania, he imprisoned his uncle in that fortress. But before leaving Hust, we will try to see this fortress church, this Protestant church. Why aren't you singing? You're part Ukrainian? Do reindeers like snow? Look, where's your horns? Where's your antlers? Where's your antlers? I like this one. This one.
What is this?
Yeah.
You're not a deer. Make him make noise.
Make some noise. He makes noise.
I get.
Hey.
That's how you write Iza. Don't know if I'm saying it right, but I-Z-A in Ukrainian Cyrillic. It's got to be Iza. What else could it be? Although, look at how Tyachu is spelled. I would have said Tyachiv, but it's Tyachu. And goodbye, Iza. Google Maps says we have about an hour of driving left, 19 miles, to get to Tyachu. And the hotel just called us up in Tyachu, and they said they have no power until 6 o'clock. Yeah, they were calling that a reindeer park, but our feeling is that they were just regular deer. They were deer. I mean, they weren't reindeer. Were they reindeer? I mean, we've seen reindeer in Scotland.
Yeah.
And I've also seen reindeer in Alaska. So this is Tyachu, and look what greets us as we enter the town. We haven't been driving in the town more than 3 minutes. A Soviet work of art. And there's the hotel we're staying at. Oh, look, so the bridge will be down here. So this is the Tisa River, and there's half a bridge left. This bridge was completed in 1909 by Hungary, back when both sides of the river were part of the Kingdom of Hungary. Now, I read online that it was destroyed in October 1944 by retreating German troops who didn't want the Red Army to follow them across. I don't see any inscription of that here, so I'm not sure. And I've heard 2 or 3 other versions of what happened to this bridge and others across the Tisa River. And there's a plaque here that translates to, in March 1939, 15 soldiers of Carpathian Ukraine were thrown into the river to their deaths by the occupiers. Yeah, Carpathian Ukraine, that was a very short-lived independent state. It lasted a day. Right after the fall of Czechoslovakia, they declared independence, this area here, and Hungary rolled in next day and took it over. On the way back toward our hotel from the bridge, just stopped the car because I see something that looks like a former synagogue. By the way, those are nice Soviet balconies there. I just read online that this synagogue is now a gym. Yeah, so the hotel has a room on the top floor. Floor 4, they call it. You may know it as floor 5 if you're thinking correctly, as an American. And the elevators don't work because there's no electricity. So we're going to kill 2 hours at a pub because we don't want to walk up 5 floors, obviously. On the way to the pub, another Soviet World War II monument, or the Great Patriotic War, as it was known. Now they've scrubbed this one good of all dedication, probably to the Red Army, but look, they did leave a star here. And this looks to be a monument related to the current war. in the back is a poem that begins with, "Mother, don't cry, I'll be back in the spring." Wasn't the kind of pub I had in mind. It's 2 floors, and the second floor is a romper room for children. So basically, parents are bringing their kids, they're getting drunk downstairs, but the kids are screaming upstairs, and not a place to spend 2 hours. Smize, smize. Night 21 of Christmas Rage. Christmas Rage!
Christmas Rage.
For anyone who is curious, Chachu comes in dead last of all the places we've been to in Ukraine as far as Christmas tree decoration goes. This is embarrassing. Do better next year. Here's what $30 a night gets you in Chachu. That's why I hate hotels. You get so little for your money. I think this is the most we paid in Ukraine. Look at this. Oh, that's everything. Oh, there's a bathroom. Good morning from Chachu. Shit weather as we exit Ukraine. It's about an hour drive today to cross into Romania, back home to Zakarpattia. One last thing in Chachu. This church behind me, it was founded in the 1200s by King Ladislaus the Great. He was Roman Catholic back then, and in 1556, the church became reformed. Now the windows and walls, they're preserved from the 1200s. We're driving to a village in the Chachu rayon called Nizhnya Obsha. It is said to be the richest village in Ukraine. We're one of the richest villages in Ukraine, so we'll do a little drive about. So I've passed about 50 of these, but I've only shown you one. I feel bad. Here's another Soviet bus stop. I've said it before in one of my Moldova videos. It bears repeating. The Soviets loved depicting breasts in their artwork. In a simplified way, yet in your face. That's a fact. Okay, pay attention. We are now entering the richest village in Ukraine. In Romania, it's called Obsha de Jos. In Ukrainian, Nizhnya Obsha. The richest village in Ukraine has the wooden church of St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker. First mentioned in 1380. They're calling this style Matamorish Gothic. Beautiful views of Nizhnya Obsha from up here on the hill. Hungarian names on the tombstones here. We found the priest to let us in.
Și e a treia mănăstire în afara granițelor. În zonă.
În zonă, așa.
What, 13th of November?
Yeah, 1461.
So that's when they built the church.
Yes.
1461 consecrated.
Și pe urmă scrie aici mai departe, pus-o biserica asta într-o slava Domnului nostru Iisus Hristos, Popa Gheorghe Păpșa.
And this is St. Nicholas. The priest told us that 70% of this village, that 70% of the village is Jehovah's Witness. The village has about 12,000 people in it. Now for some coffee in Ukraine's richest village of Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, everyone in this town is speaking Romanian so far. That works out well. All right, just learned that 98% of the richest village in Ukraine is ethnically Romanian. That's why we're hearing Romanian everywhere. Cafe has a nice carved backgammon set. All right, it's time to say goodbye to Nizhnya Apsha. Apsha de Jos, as the Romanians say. And head a little closer to the border with Romania. And the village right to the east of the richest village seems to be nothing but abandoned houses. They were building them and just stopped. Quick stop to reflect on another vandalized Soviet World War II monument. Online, I'll try to figure out what used to be here. Certainly, it was Soviet related. Yep, this really is the way to the border crossing to Romania. You know what you're looking at out there in the distance? Beyond the town of Solodvino, which is in Ukraine, you're looking into Romania, into Zakarpattia, which is where we live. You can see the church steeples of Sziget. Thank you. A must-do in Ukraine before crossing any borders: fill up your tank. The gas in Ukraine is the cheapest in the area. This is 1.19 euros per liter. Try to find that in Romania, or Poland, or Slovakia, or Hungary. You can't. And this gas station is probably the most expensive one we've seen in Ukraine. We just stopped because it's right at the border, and well, we have no choice at this point. Solodvino in Romanian is Slatina, and you know this because you've seen my past videos. I'll put them up in the link. I've done some videos on Slatina, but it's related to salt, and there we have a salt mine. Now, Solodvino is considered a resort town. It's a spa town. They have a few salt lakes here, and let's take a quick look at one. If the hail lets up. Speaking of Christmas, this is a Christmas in Ukraine video after all. One of your favorite Christmas carols comes from Ukraine. You know it. Dun da da dun 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 da da dun da da dun 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 da da dun. One last supermarket in Ukraine for Bianca, this time for frozen vereniki. Frozen vereniki. This is old Leningrad Street. They changed the name, you know, again, decommunization law. And this is Kharkiv Street. They say it's the most Russian city in Ukraine. It's right up against the border with Russia. We're stopping by a coffee shop named Madame Morish here in Solodvino. Last time I was here, earlier in the year, the lady said when I return, she's going to tell me the history of the bridge that links Solodvino and Zakarpattia. Because at some point it was blown up. I've heard stories that it had to do with Czechoslovakia and also Hitler. So we shall see.
Hello.
Finding out about the bridge. Okay, so I got the scoop on the bridge. You're about to watch us cross from Ukraine to Romania. It was built by the Hungarians back when this used to belong to Hungary, and it was destroyed by the Hungarians. No, thank you.
Yes. Said something in Romania.
I don't understand. Sorry about that. That was a Hungarian beggar. Anyway, the Hungarians blew it up in World War II, and it was to keep the Romanians south of the Tisza from joining the Russians in the north, because they were allied by this point. So the Hungarians blew up the bridge, October 1944. And be excited, because you're about to see that bridge now. And while we're sitting at this border for a few hours, here, take a look at the map to date. This is the Christmas market. Well, it wasn't a Christmas market trip here in Ukraine, but the Euro Christmas road trip. Here it is, beginning in Bosnia, ending here at the border with Romania. But the series is not over. No, we're gonna continue it in Romania. We're gonna call it part 5. So this is the end of part 4. Here's the bridge. See you in Romania.